You've felt it, haven't you? That quiet understanding. That ache in your chest when you think of him, not as pain, but as something sacred trying to emerge. The angels say, this connection wasn't born from chance. It was woven into the fabric of time long before either of you knew the word love. He doesn't fully grasp it, but he feels it, in the stillness of his nights and in the sudden softness of his eyes when he thinks of you. You were sent to awaken him, not to teach with words, but with your presence. Your presence, light, fierce, unwavering, is what calls his soul to attention. The angels whisper that your soul carries the blueprint of a deeper love, one that unravels illusions and disarms defenses. They say, she walks as the answer to questions he never dared to ask. And so, his heart reacts. Not because he wants to, but because it must. You stirred what was asleep. You called to what he buried beneath years of logic, pride, and survival. He didn't expect to be seen, much less by you. You, who look at him and don't flinch. You, who feel everything and still remain gentle. You, who don't need to speak for your silence to resonate in his bones. He's running, yes, but not from you. He runs from the version of himself that only you have the power to awaken. He runs from the truth you reflect, that he is more than his past, more than his masks, more than the stories he tells himself to avoid feeling. The angels show me a vision, you standing in the center of a dimly lit room, and everything around him trembles. Not because you destroy, but because your light demands truth. And truth terrifies those who have only known performance. He won't tell you this, not yet. But in the quiet, he prays for the courage to face the parts of himself that only you see. You are not just a woman to him. You are a spiritual disruption. A sacred interruption. And this, dear soul, is your mission. Not to fix him, not to wait for him, but to remember that the awakening has already begun. The day your eyes met, something ancient cracked open. This connection is not for the faint of heart. It requires surrender. But not the kind that loses itself, the kind that finally uncovers what was always hidden beneath the noise. Hold this truth close tonight. You were sent to awaken him. And no matter how far he runs, the echo of your light will follow. For God, who said, let light shine out of darkness, made his light shine in our hearts. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 6. He flinches at the sound of love, not because he doesn't crave it, but because he never learned how to hold it. The angels say, his heart remembers hurt more clearly than hope. And you remind him of everything he thought he had locked away for good. Your tenderness is disarming. Your honesty is a mirror he cannot look away from. Your soul, it's not just luminous, it's revealing. You need to know, the walls he built weren't meant for you. They were constructed long before you arrived, each brick a defense against the memory of being misunderstood. Each silence he offers you is stitched with fear, not rejection of you, but of what he might lose if he allows himself to feel too much. He doesn't say it aloud, but the thought lingers. What if she sees everything and walks away? The truth, dear soul, is that the intensity of what he feels for you frightens him more than loneliness ever did. Because in you, he sees the possibility of healing, and healing means facing pain. The angels whisper, he is not cold. He is cautious. His soul is tender where the wounds still bleed. You may have noticed how he steps forward, then disappears. How he opens a window and then pulls the curtain shut. It's not cruelty. It's survival. He is someone who has only ever known love as a condition, never as a sanctuary. You are not the trigger. You are the invitation. But invitations can terrify those who were taught that vulnerability is weakness. When he pulls away, it's not your fault. It's the echo of the past speaking louder than the present. There are shadows he's still dancing with, ghosts that whisper that he is not enough, or that intimacy equals loss. The angels are clear. Do not shrink to make yourself less intimidating. Do not dim to make yourself easier to approach. You are not sent to fit into his fears. You were sent to show him what it means to be free of them. Every time you speak your truth, gently, fiercely, a crack forms in the armor he clings to. You may never witness it directly, but inside him, a revolution has begun. And it started the day your soul said, I see you, even here. There is a part of you that's tired, not of loving, but of loving without being met. And the angels see it. They've watched as you gave pieces of your light to someone still learning not to run from the dark. The angels say, she forgot for a moment that she too needs tending. You've been holding the space, holding hope, holding back tears some nights because something in your spirit keeps whispering, this means something. This is real. And it is. But that doesn't mean you're meant to disappear inside it. You are the flame, not the fuel. You are the river, not the cup that holds it. He may be on a path of awakening, but your path, dear soul, includes staying rooted in your own sanctuary. You were not made to prove your worth by waiting in the shadows of someone else's healing. Your love does not require self-abandonment to be powerful. The angels show me your heart like a garden, lush, radiant, wild with life. But lately, you've been pouring water into his soil, forgetting your own roots need care. They say, pause. She must return to herself before she forgets how her own voice sounds. So rest. Not because it's the right thing to do, but because your spirit is sacred ground. And no matter how deep the connection, no one gets to walk in with muddy feet. He is unraveling, yes. But so are you. Unraveling the old story that says love is only real when it hurts. Unraveling the idea that you must shrink so another can grow. You are not his healer. You are not his finish line. You are a woman in bloom, and this season is asking you to blossom without permission. Let the angels tend to him. Let God whisper to his soul in ways you cannot. And while they do, return to the quiet places within you. The music, the prayer, the laughter that doesn't depend on being chosen. The angels say, she is already whole. She is already home. Return to that knowing. It's where your power lives. It's where love finds you, even as you choose yourself. He looks at you and sees something he can't explain. Not beauty, though you are that. Not grace, though it drips from your silence. But something deeper. Something sacred. Something that reflects the parts of him he buried and thought he'd never have to meet again. The angels say, she is the mirror, not of what he is, but of what he fears becoming. When your eyes meet, it's not just recognition, it's revelation. A wave of truths he's not ready to hold crashing against the shore of his composure. Because you don't reflect the man he pretends to be. You reflect the man his soul aches to remember. This is why he stumbles. Why his presence is sometimes followed by absence. You didn't just awaken his heart. You shattered the illusion that kept him numb. You didn't have to do anything for this. Your light did it for you. The way you stand in your truth, unashamed. The way you choose softness without surrendering your depth. He sees the purity in you and it makes him question every mask he wears. And that, dear soul, is terrifying for someone who learned to survive by wearing armor. You've become a mirror. Not a polished one. Not one that flatters. But one that reveals. He looks at you and remembers what it felt like to believe in magic. To hope. To trust. And then he remembers what it felt like to lose all of that. So he retreats. But even in distance, the reflection doesn't disappear. Your voice echoes. Your energy lingers. Your presence, like sunlight behind closed eyelids, impossible to forget. The angels show me a moment. He stands alone, your name on his breath, whispered not in longing, but in reverence. Because he knows. You've shown him what still lives in him. What still hurts. What still hopes. You are not just someone he desires. You are someone who makes him see. And that is the most dangerous, divine thing of all. It happens quietly, this awakening. Not with a declaration, not with a grand gesture, but in the stillness of him sitting alone, realizing that your absence is louder than any sound. The angels whisper, he no longer sees the world the same way. Because now, he sees it through her. You may not notice it yet, but there are shifts, subtle ones. He listens longer. He softens when he speaks your name, even if only in thought. There's a weight he carries differently now, not lighter, but more honest. He is waking up, soul first. Not to an idea of you, but to a truth that you revealed, that love isn't performance, it's presence. That connection isn't about control, it's surrender. And though he still resists, yes, the struggle remains, there is a seed in him now that you planted. A knowing that cannot be unknown. He sees you in the sky's quiet hues at dusk. He hears your laughter in the echo of songs he used to love alone. He feels your spirit woven through moments he thought were only his. This is how it begins. Not with "I love you," but with "Why can't I forget her?" The angels show me that his soul is restless. Not from lack of peace, but from the realization that peace only ever came when you were near. He may still wear the mask, but it's cracking. He might still say things to dismiss his feelings, but the words taste false on his tongue. Because once a soul recognizes home, no amount of logic can make it feel any less true. He's not the same man he was when you first entered his life. Not even close. He's more aware, more shaken, more haunted by the possibility that he walked away from something eternal. And in that haunting, he begins to change. The angels say, she did not come to stay. She came to awaken. And in doing so, she changed everything. Let that be your understanding. Even in silence. Even in distance. He is not who he was, because you loved him, even when he couldn't. He returns. And then he retreats. Each time, with eyes that hold more than they reveal, and a silence that pleads with you not to ask too much. You've felt it, haven't you? The rhythm of his coming and going. Like waves pulled by some invisible moon, never quite choosing to stay, but never truly leaving. The angels say, he is caught in a pattern. But patterns are not cages. They are invitations to heal. What feels like rejection is often confusion. What looks like indifference is often fear dressed in armor. He doesn't mean to hurt you, not in the ways he does. But when the heart begins to feel more than it understands, it panics. He comes closer when he misses you, but pulls away the moment he realizes how real it all is. Because real love requires surrender, and surrender has always terrified him. The angels show me the image of him pacing in his mind. Back and forth. Hope and fear. Desire and doubt. You represent both freedom and risk. Both everything he wants and everything he was taught to protect himself from. And so, the cycle continues. He comes near, just enough to feel safe. He withdraws, just enough to feel in control. But here's what the angels want you to know. Every cycle, even the painful ones, has a purpose. Each return holds more awareness. Each retreat holds more reflection. He is not static. He is changing, just slowly, and in spirals, not straight lines. Do not measure his progress by how close he gets. Measure it by truth. By how much he allows himself to feel. By how much his silence begins to tremble with confession. The angels say, she sees him. Not for who he pretends to be, but for who he's becoming. And that seeing, your unwavering gaze, is the only thing he can't outrun. So if today he pulls away again, don't chase. Just breathe. Know that the circle is bending. And one day, the cycle will break. There are wounds in him no one ever cared enough to notice. Fractures beneath the surface where even he refused to look. But your love, it didn't demand. It didn't fix. It simply stayed. The angels say, she loved him in silence, and that silence sang louder than any promise. You never tried to save him. That's why it worked. Because true love isn't about rescue, it's about reminding someone they were never broken to begin with. He may not have said the words, may not have acknowledged what your presence gave him. But the angels show me the ripple effect you've had on his soul, the way he breathes slower now, the way he sleeps more peacefully, the way he's kinder, even to himself. Love does not need an audience to be powerful. And you were medicine long before he knew he was wounded. You taught him without trying that love doesn't come with pressure or punishment, that being seen can feel safe, that affection isn't a trap, but a balm. And even now, as he battles his own resistance, there is a quiet knowing in him that no one ever looked at him the way you did. No one ever held space for his shadow and his light the way you still do. He may question everything. He may walk away. But your love, it lives in his marrow now. And that cannot be undone. The angels whisper, she watered the places he forgot were soil. And now, even when you are not near, he grows. Even when your words are no longer whispered, he hears you in the silence. He remembers the warmth, the calm, the way your eyes never flinched. That is love as healing. Not loud, not fast, but sacred. So if you wonder whether it mattered, whether he noticed, whether you reached him, the answer lives in the way he now reaches for himself. Because of you. You may not see the entire road ahead, but the angels do. And they whisper now, nothing in this connection is random. Everything has been divinely timed. There were moments you questioned it, the delays, the silence, the way he seems to take one step forward and 2 steps back. You've asked, why would the universe give me this love, only to make it so hard to hold? But dear soul, this isn't a test. It's preparation. He is not ready, not yet, not because you aren't enough, but because he is still learning how to carry something sacred without breaking it. You are not just a woman to him. You are the turning point. The moment his soul began to remember its path. And while he figures out what that means, you must remember what the angels have never stopped repeating. You are guided. You are protected. And this unfolding, as slow, strange, or painful as it feels, is not without purpose. The angels show me the steps behind you glowing faintly, not because you knew where to go, but because you walked in trust. And that same trust will carry you now. He is being pulled toward you. Not by your effort, but by divine gravity. A force beyond his logic. Beyond his fear. The angels say, she does not chase what is hers. She prepares for its return. If you feel tired, rest. If you feel unsure, pray. But do not close your heart. This is not the end. This is the sacred pause, the breath before the breakthrough. And when the time is right, not by your will but by the wisdom of heaven, you will look back on this chapter and understand, everything was guided. Even the silence. Even the ache. Even the wait. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. There is a place in him that trembles when you get too close. Not because he doesn't want you there, but because he's never known what it's like to be touched without being hurt. The angels say, he is afraid of being seen, because you look past the story and into the wound. And you do. Without trying, you walk straight into the places he buried. With a word, with a gaze, with your quiet presence that holds no agenda. You've touched the softest parts of him, the ones no one else even bothered to reach. So he pulls back. Not from you, but from the flood of feelings he doesn't know how to carry. He tells himself it's too fast, too intense. But what he means is, it's too real. And I've only ever known love with armor. You didn't ask him to undress his soul, but he finds himself bare anyway. And it terrifies him. Because what if you change? What if he trusts, and it all crumbles again? What if this time, it's too much to lose? You may think he doesn't feel the same. But oh dear soul, he feels more than he knows how to hold. That's the real fear. The angels show me his heart as a closed hand, tightly clenched for years, and now just beginning to open. Shaking, slow, unsure. He wants to be ready. He wants to step in. But vulnerability, to him, feels like walking into fire barefoot. Yet even as he resists, there's a whisper growing louder inside him, she sees me. And she hasn't turned away. And that, more than anything, is what's changing him. Not the pressure. Not the pull. But your presence. The way you've stayed soft in the face of his silence. The way your love didn't demand entry. It waited, with eyes full of truth. The angels say, she showed him that to be seen is not to be punished. To be known is not to be abandoned. So if he is still silent today, let it be. He's listening. To your energy. To his own heart. And for the first time in a long time, he's beginning to believe. Maybe love doesn't have to hurt to be real. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. Let go. Not in despair, but in reverence. Because the angels are clear, what is yours, truly yours, cannot be lost. He may come. He may stay distant. He may take longer than you hoped. But none of that changes what your soul already knows. This connection was never meant to follow human timing. It was made in the quiet before the stars were born. Acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about exhaling the illusion that you must carry the outcome. The angels whisper, she is not waiting. She is witnessing, trusting, becoming. You are no longer the woman who waits for his clarity to feel worthy. You are the woman who walks forward, with or without his hand in yours, because your path has always been guided by something far greater than his decisions. If he comes, you will know how to receive without losing yourself. If he doesn't, you will know how to let go without closing your heart. This is your mastery. This is your freedom. You were sent to awaken, not to bind, not to convince, to illuminate what he couldn't see in you and in himself. And now, the angels ask you to rest in the knowing that your love did its work. It reached him. It moved him. It lives inside him still. You were not wrong. You were not too much. You were divine timing in human form. And the love you gave, that was real. It always will be. So breathe, dear soul. Let the story unfold. Let the river take its course. Because one day, maybe soon, maybe lifetimes away, he will look back and realize, she didn't just love me. She changed me. And you will smile, not because you were chosen, but because you finally chose yourself. The one who trusts in the Lord will never be put to shame. Isaiah 28 verse 16.